Hi guys, welcome back to Affirmations. Wishing everyone mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical health. Wanted to thank my subscribers as well as those who are new subscribers and anyone who's passing through. Okay, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when I post. Okay, let's see if I can get some Palo Santo. For those of you that are new, I always talk about how. Oh, wow, the camera is doing the thing. Yay. Of course, I have a rule. I try not to stop and keep going, no matter if it's come on. Look at me. I'm having all kind of technical difficulties today. Even if it's some mistakes, right? But sometimes we can get stuck in that perfectionism. Look at it sliding again. I need to get a stand. I'm going to actually have this propped up with a cup, which is terrible, right? But that's how I do. Anyway, let me give you all some Palo Santo. Okay. Kind of wants to work, doesn't want to work. All right. So for those of you that are new, a lot of times we will light incense or candles. Again, like in temples and churches, they will light candles and incense. Um, and whenever you're healing, and even in therapy, because it's healing in nature, is my belief that it is spiritual in nature as well. Okay. All right. So I am really giving myself a hard time here. Come on. All right. Come on. We got it. All right. So we're going to start with our saying for those of you that are new. We always start with death and life is in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Have you been feeding yourself fresh or rotten fruit, always wanting to mind the self-talk that you do with yourself, as well as what you speak, as well as what you speak about others, trying not to be the goal to not be malicious or allowing others, because sometimes it can activate reap what you sow. Okay. All right. Let's see. Also, too, for you, those of you who that are new, we do tackle the topic of healing slave trauma, right? Generational type trauma. And this is a segment that we do where we kind of look at spirituality, and again, understanding that even our religion was supervised during slavery. So a lot of things we were given limited information. And so we talk about how the Bible definitely is true, but some things have been manipulated, some information has been taken out, some books have been left out. And for those of us that have been given the calling to knock, and the door shall be open, and seek and you shall find, and explore other things to educate ourselves to see what is relevant to ourselves, not just what we were told we were allowed to understand. Okay. But if that's not your calling, do not pursue that. Again, it can cause you to become unstable. Okay. Let's see. So we're going to look at a spiritual awakening 52 universal law oracle cards. I have this in the description section. Okay. And we're just going to see what we get today. And we're going to see if we agree with it or not. A lot of these things, like I've said before, whenever I do the signal, a lot of things will line up even with the Bible. And then some of the things we know to be true. And we also talk about how there are a lot of different type of laws, right? It's not written in the Bible, but they exist. We have physics, science laws, natural law. There are all kind of laws, right? That exist that are not written down, right, in a Bible. And some of them not written down at all, but we understand it to be true, okay? All right, so let's see what we're going to get to see. Which of these universal laws are we going to be looking at, okay? And we'll see. If I don't get one, I will just randomly pull. So I'm hoping you all had a good week. I also talk about how if you hadn't had a good week, what's one thing you can do to make this upcoming week go smoother, right? Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to randomly pick. All right. Like something don't want to come out. Let's see. If it's one that we've gotten, we may put aside. Let's see what we got. Oh, wow. This is a good one. The law of truth. love unconditionally, and create healthy boundaries. We're always talking about that, right? Yes, the law of truth. Let's see what this is talking about in more detail, okay? The law of truth. Let's see how they have this. They don't have it in any kind of order. The law of truth. Let's see. 71. Let's see what this is talking about. Okay. Kind of putting it to the side so I can see it in the light. It says, at the core of who you are lives an okay, come on, words. Omnipotent presence. Omnipotent? Yeah, that's what it is. At the core of who you are lives an omnipotent presence that has eternal wisdom and love. And again, that's basically just saying pretty much spirit has been given all to us, which we all are kind of part of the Most High. Okay, right? Let's see. Within each cell of your body lives a divine intelligence. Okay, I like that. Inside of our bodies lives in a divine intelligence. What does that mean? We don't have to tell ourselves to breathe. Our body is intelligent enough and it does that on its own. When we get cut, our body immediately goes into function to try to heal it, right? So our body automatically does things, okay? Let's see. So the divine, within each cell of your body lives a divine intelligence, an innate healer. Yeah, we just talked about that. And an ultimate life force. You are endowed with intuition. We always talk about that. Intuition, right? We all have our emotions actually are the radars for our intuition, right? A lot of times we're trying to stop certain emotions, but those emotions are kind of alarm systems warning us of things, guiding us, right? And universal guidance. The extent to which you deny this is the extent to which you will suffer. Come on now. The extent to which you deny this is the extent to which you will suffer. So basically, if you do not accept the fact that each cell of your body lives within it a divine intelligence, again, an automatic healer, right? And the body is intelligent, automatically does things, and an unlimited life force, as well as intuition to guide us. So if you do not accept that it's something to your intuition that's there to guide you, right, is the extent to which you will suffer. How many times have we had an inkling of something and we ignored our what we call our gut feeling, right? We already knew. It's amazing. We already knew, but a lot of times we've been taught to stuff that down to ignore it, right? So we're always talking about, we connect this to slavery. Well, I will say this in slavery. I do think that's how our people survive. I think we survive off of intuition, right? We had nothing else. For example, even this, you'll see me kind of shuffling the cards and kind of doing this random pulling. The random has always been a way of us communicating with spirit, right? And so certain things in the Bible, they've told us like, you can't, don't listen to your intuition. Don't look for symbols and signs. Don't try to understand spiritual things. But if you think about it, our people had to depend on symbolism as well as signs and symbols from spirituality, because again, we were not allowed to read Bibles. So we wasn't getting information from Bibles, right? We were dealing with nature. We were dealing with an understanding and a knowing. Okay. That's how we survived our intuition. I know that's a deep concept. Okay. And so it's more that we'll be talking about regarding that, right? Just this kind of intuition. Let's see. So it says, by drawing this card, your higher self desires for you, or let's say for us, to live authentically. What does this say? The triune of freedom is truth, life, and beauty. To unlock your divinity or your higher self, or to your highest life purpose, you must end any battle within and live a transparent life. So that means you have to resolve all of the battles and conflict that you struggle with. right? And live a transparent life, right? To where you don't have to be in hiding, to where you don't have to live in shame. Even if a transparent life is even this, I'm not perfect and I do A, B, C, and D, right? I struggle with this. I struggle with that. Yeah. That's how we unlock freedom. Yeah. By living in truth. Okay. Let's see. It says telling the truth may be uncomfortable at first, but the universe, and again, we can use the words we would like to place here. I'm going to say, but the Most High assures that there is a life of freedom on the other side. The truth shall set us free, right? That's saying. Most importantly, tell yourself the truth and you will be set free. Come on. Why is it telling us to tell yourself the truth? It means it's implying we can lie to ourselves. We can lie to ourselves. And I do think that's another survival thing that we used during slavery, right? We were taught that things were our fault, that we're bad. We will actually lie for people that we know are being abusive. Or they didn't mean to do that. They're not doing this. Oh, I did this. It was me, right? Or we'll lie to ourselves in saying that I'm not hurting anyone. I didn't do that. Won't take responsibility. Right. Not only are we, other people will confront us with things, but we won't even admit it. And we've even convinced ourselves that I don't know what you're talking about. So the only way to be free is to be in truth. So what he wants us to do, it says, write down, we're always talking about the journal, write down all of the lies you have been telling yourself. It's tricky to be truthful with ourselves. And even if it's lies about certain things that you hoped for, that you thought was true, things about people, places, things that you thought you knew, but come to find out it wasn't true. Yeah. It says, where have you been settling in life? Yeah, even that, lying to ourselves. You've been settling, putting up with certain things. Yeah. Where have you been pretending instead of being authentic? And again, that's another thing our people are going to struggle with because we had to pretend. We are some of the best actors and actresses on earth because we had to. And it's a skill that we must have to survive. But at the end of the day, do you stay in that? And sometimes are you acting to survive and for something positive, or are you acting and pretending for wickedness to manipulate? So again, it's all about the intention. What's your intention in it? Because sometimes for survival, you have to do a thing, but sometimes you don't even have to do a thing. And do you overly depend on that, right? So where have you been pretending instead of being authentic? Now write down your truth in the 4 areas of your life: relationship, love, career, money, health and vitality, and creative expression. Okay. This was a good one. Okay. This was kind of deep. So I want us to, do that. Write some things down. Start to be a little bit more truthful about ourselves, even if it's, even if we're not perfect, and no matter how bad we think it is, the more we can just be like, hey, this is what it is. This is what I do. This is what I struggle with. Right. Okay. And so what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and end with my statement. Let's see, before that, information in the description box about how to contact me if you want a session, as well as encouraging everyone to get your yearly mental health checkup, right? We want to start checking in with ourselves yearly, as well as any information about the dicks I've used. If anyone is reaching out to you, pretending to be me, no, that is not me. I will never reach out to you. Information, again, is in the description box. Okay. And we're going to end. Everyone has a right to heal from trauma without interference in privacy, even a race nation. And until next time, bye.